lead by 3. Almost no trouble. Around goes Alex Hill.
Hard into the outside wall goes Hill. They're wrecking big time out back. We're not going to throw a caution. To the finish. Who gets it at the line? Cody Nagels wins it at Talladega.
Hello everybody and welcome into PGR eSports live from the high banks of Talladega Superspeedway. Got a good one in store for you here tonight. Throwback edition this Thursday as we are in the 87s here tonight. We'll get into more of that in just a moment, but thank you all so much for tuning in. You're watching Austin Green on PGR eSports. Matthew Baker not with us in the booth tonight, and that is because he is actually down trackside. He's going to be in this race, and he is going to be fun to watch, as are all the drivers here tonight. You notice the cars look different. That's because it is the 1987 version of the Cup cars, and these things are a blast. High speeds. We're going to see blowovers, everything in between. But here we go. Let's take a look at your starting grid here tonight. Taking the pole, it's going to be Talon Smith. Haven't seen him around the money racing scene. I don't know. This might be his first PGR race. Nonetheless, puts down a heater with a 46.2. So he will roll off from that first position. Then it's the Australian driver making his debut here tonight, Robert De Jersey. He starts in second. Kyler Wynn back in third. You got Hunter Reynolds in fourth with Cody Nagels fifth. Dylan Jones in sixth. Logan York back in the seventh spot with Malik Ray rounding out row number 4 and 8th. There's Matthew Baker, our normal co-host, down in the field tonight. He will start in 9th. And then Christopher Carter rounds out your top 10. Andrew Navarro will roll off from the 11th spot. Trevor Oswornoff for KSR back in 12th. Moving on back to row 7, it's Jason Maines and Ron Morris Jr. with Joe Herta and Jeff Merck in row number 8. Devin Ray back in 17th. William Schwindenhammer in 18th. Kenneth Stamper, the captain for KSR, in 19th. And Jeremy Osborne for Blind Squirrel Racing, rounding out your top 20. Jesse Calloway, Steve Sizemore making up row 11. Jared Haynes and DeAndre Kane going to be making up row number 12. Moving on back to 25th. It'll be Aubrey Thompson with Richard Elliott to his outside in 26th. That is two teammates. Keep an eye on them to work their way to the front. Joshua McCullough will roll off 27th. Mike Davenport in 28th. Christopher McCullough 29th. Kenneth McCullough Jr. rounding out your top 30. Jonathan Herbert in 31st. Tyler Vickery in 32nd. David Sheets back in 33rd with Mark Vondell in 34th. And he will round out your field here tonight. Looking at your race info, 70 degrees outside, 10% humidity, partly cloudy skies, winds at 2 miles an hour. We are back at Talladega Superspeedway. But again, in the 87 series, 50 laps the distance here tonight, 100% fuel, 2 sets of tires only. And of course, there is one fast spare because we're going to be seeing plenty of wrecks. Guys are going to need that fast spare in their pocket here tonight. Fixed setups as always, 3 green-white checkers, and then there will be a stage break at lap 25 that will award some extra money. Talladega Superspeedway, 2.65 miles in length, over 30 degrees of banking in the corner. Track temp, though, is pretty cool here, only 72 degrees to start, so that should help these guys out a bit. Okay, here we go. Pace car going to make the left turn for the first time here tonight, and for the first time in PGR Series history. We've been in the trucks, we've been in the Xfinity cars, the Cup cars, everything in between, and now for the first time in the Intimidator Superspeedway Series, we are racing in the 87s. Already trouble, we got one around here down on the apron, going into turn number 1. Doesn't look like it's going to draw a caution though. And so we will stay green, but that is going to cut short of that first lap kind of crank it up segment we like to do. Down the backstretch they work for the first time here tonight. And look at the spread right now. Everybody trying to figure these cars out. Again, they had a chance to practice a little bit before the race, but I mean, this is new territory to pretty much everybody. These things handle, there's no comparison. I mean, we're going to hop on a board with a couple different drivers here tonight, but I think the best way to describe these is this no longer races like the Talladega we're used to seeing, where you've got 2 lanes inside and outside pushing. You will have a bit of that on these fresher tires, as you see Kyler Wynn making a move to the outside, gets a big side draft on Talon Smith. He will now take the lead into turn number 1, but the big difference is, oh, hold on, we got one going around out back. Hold on to it. That's a 51. Is that Malik Ray? Oh, my goodness. I think it was. Wow, what a save as Matthew Baker pulls alongside him. Man, that was a close call early for Malik, as the car just started. He might have had a little bit of help, but you can see the momentum he lost, and he's already dropped quite a few positions. But it's really easy to get into the wall here. You kind of got to ride these corners as the tires wear out, almost like a little bit of a diamond. You don't want to necessarily hug the yellow line unless you're, of course, trying to play defense, which a lot of these guys at the front will be. But in general, you kind of want to run a little bit of a diamond down on the yellow on entry, wash up a little bit, and you are not full throttle through the turns, trying to save a little bit of tire. There you go. See how they wash up a little bit off that double yellow? And then as you get out of the corner, you want to get right back on it. Paint it if you can, because then the car is going to wash up on exit all the way to the outside wall. Speaking of, somebody tapping the wall further back, but hey, how about it? 3 laps clean. That's further than I expected us to go here for the first green flag run in these cars, but I don't think we're going to see a green flag stop here tonight, especially with the stage break, but you can never count it out. Well, no, because these cars can definitely go over 25 laps, so don't think we'll see any green flag pit stops here tonight. But about Cody Nagel sitting in that 4th spot. I mean, Kyler Wynn, of course, 2 of the, if you want to call it, I guess we'll call it the crown jewel winners of the iRacing, the biggest money racing series in iRacing this past year, with Kyler Wynn, of course, taking the podium 500, and then Cody Nagel's taking the Omega Cup Spring Bowl. And so no surprise that those two know how to get it done in just about any car at any form of any super speedway. And then how about Hunter Reynolds? Haven't seen him in the field in a while either, but it's almost like we've got a couple of guys that we don't see as much, but you know they love these 87 cars that have come out here tonight, and that's the case right now. I'll tell you who really likes him. That's Matthew Baker, one of the Moon Car Light. I think he actually got promoted to Moon Car. And here you go, 3 wide. First move of the night. He's going to split Kyler Wynn. No help for the 82 in the middle of the trial, but as they cross the line, Talon Smith will take that lap in his Pontiac. But it is Matthew Baker still trying to get that 3rd lane working. No drafting help, and he'll have to duck back down behind the factory setups machine of Kyler Wynn. They all fade back to the top of the racetrack. You see how we keep seeing a lot of these guys just clip the wall on exit. And all that is again, the car has a tendency to get really tight on the exit of these corners, both out of turn 2 and turn 4. And so you got to kind of be ready for it. And even if you try to let off, if you don't have the right line on exit, car's not going to stick. You're going to go into the wall. There's the view for Talon Smith. Let's go a little bit further back. In the middle of all this chaos, though, take a ride on board here with Kenneth Stamper. KSR captain right now sits up 11 positions from where he started, so he has been digging from the drop of the green flag. It's been paying off so far. He sits in that 8th position, still inside your top 10. You see right now he's trying to hold the outside. Oh, he's got to be careful. He's getting tight. He's going to go into the wall right here. There you see it. He had to get out of the throttle, but it's just that point where you can almost see it out of the windshield. As soon as you get a little bit tight after a certain point in the corner, it doesn't matter how much will you put into it. It's not going to slow down in time. Now, the other big thing you got to appreciate with these cars is the speeds at which these guys are running. We're going to go back to the 3rd spot in line here with Kyler Wynn as he runs in the draft, and look at the speed that he is putting down here. And this is just, they haven't even got to the travel yet. 216. Watch as they get down here towards turn 1. With the draft, these guys get close to about 220 miles per hour. And so again, more speed means that you're going to be scrubbing off more tire, and with the way these cars handle, of course, not nearly as much downforce as the present-day Cup cars, so that's why guys have to lift a little bit out of the corners. Oh, hold on, we got one going around out back. One on the apron, couldn't tell who it was. Oh, big hit. I think is that Stamper? Oh, it is. Kenneth Stamper. Huge hit for the 30 machine. He is destroyed, but he stays on the apron, so this is going to keep, or we're going to stay green. This is not going to bring out a caution. Oh, man, that's a huge, huge hit, though, for Stamper. He's going to have to use his fast repair. I think he's just trying to limp it around, though, if he can here. Let's see. Does he just gets tight again, gets in that outside wall, and then as he tries to get the wheel to get off of it, car comes down, and if you can't tell the brakes on these cars, another thing that's a little different, they are not very good. These things take a while to get wound up, and Kenneth Stamper, he took a huge hit off that inside safer barrier. Back up front, Kyler Wynn back to the lead, as it is Malik Ray. He's now made his way up to second as they pass by the smoking Kenneth Stamper. I don't know if that's what the caution's for as they approached him, but I'm not seeing anybody else with trouble, so I'm thinking that caution may be for that 30 machine of Kenneth Stamper. Certainly a little surprising to see it come out for that one car, especially if he's off the racing surface, which he is. But Stamper was trying to limp it around here so they didn't have to go in and have to pay a tow bill, but I think at the end of the day it's going to bite him nonetheless. Oh man, steering broken on that car as it goes straight up to the outside wall there off the corner. And I wonder if maybe when we were kind of panning in the camera view, if his steering was so broke that he started to go back on track, maybe that's what drew the caution. We're gonna have to go back to take a look to find out, but Kyler Wynn is being scored as your leader, this first caution of the night. So here we go. You saw the impact for Stamper. This happened about a lap ago, and we can try to back this up, in fact, all the way to where it started. And it was just, and then, you know, you can see it happen to multiple drivers here. Watch as they get down the back here. In fact, that view not doing it as much justice. Right here, look, count about 2, 3 of them, including Stamper, of course, that get into that outside wall. I don't know how the blue Dynaco machine, can't tell exactly who that is from here, saves it, but then Stamper, as he rips it off the wall, he doesn't save it, unfortunately, and that's a huge hit. And then he's going to go for a pretty long slide here before this thing finally comes to a grinding halt. He's able to roll it around, though, keeps it going here, and then this is where it brings out the caution as he gets over here to turn 3. Let's see, does this thing steer back onto the racetrack? I don't think it did here. You can see he's struggling to get around. He's got the wheel just about locked left. I'm not sure if that was from the damage or if he's trying to counter damage. But then as they get into turn 3, watch for the leaders to be coming by here. There they go. And yeah, he's still plenty off the racetrack. So it makes you think that surely that could not have been what brought out the caution. But I'm just not really seeing what else it could have been here. Looking around, and everybody seems to be okay. So that's what we're going to assume it was for now. So since we already took a replay at that, it'll be our shortest one here of the night, as it's about the only view we had of it there. But we can go back and actually take one more view here of Stamper. This is from the onboard view, and I showed you just a lap ago when we were riding on board with him kind of what it looked like and how as a driver you can almost tell you're going to get into that outside wall, and it's just not something you're used to. You know, you go into the wall, obviously the first instinct is I got to get off of it, but you got to try to sometimes just do a little bit of a counter steer back to the right when you first go into the wall, because you know you're going to bounce off of it here. And there you go, bounces off of it, but he's already got the wheel to the left, and rear tires just start to slide out from under him, and that's just history. All right, so Kenneth Stamper, first car of the night, as actually Logan York maybe giving us some insight here into, oh no, that must have been the restart actually. I was getting ready to say somebody missed a shift under green. Why were they shifting? But I think Logan's referring to the restart, which actually we'll go back to here and watch this from Logan York, and or rather close to him, I should say. And let's see if we can see who misses a shift here. Restart. Watch the purple and yellow O2 machine, and they get off to the races. There you go. And that is probably that second to third gear shift. And was it Dylan Jones that missed it? Yes, it was. I don't know if Dylan missed it, though. Now, he might have, I guess. It didn't look like he checked up as bad as I initially thought it was going to be, but certainly something slowed down his momentum. Take a listen. Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, Logan's right. He either missed the shift or he didn't. Yeah, something happened there with the shifting, because you hear it and you can kind of see it there actually hit the rev limiter. It's a good save overall by Dylan, and I think Logan held on to it. Fortunately, though, they just both lost track position here, as Logan, he did go for a spin, but doesn't hit anything. So no harm, no foul for those two, but Kenneth Stamper looking like going to be the first car here tonight that is going to have to take his fast repair. But besides that, I think everybody else is pretty clean. And right now, 11 laps already complete. We are almost halfway through the first stage here tonight. And guess who's leading? Matthew Baker In the 5 machine, Talon Smith second, Hunter Reynolds back in third, Cody Nagels in fourth. Then you've got Trevor Oswanoth for KSR. He is rounding out your top 5. Well, again, appreciate everybody that's tuning in here tonight. Different series. We've kind of wondering a little bit what the driver turnout was going to be. A couple guys pre-race, you know, seemed like maybe they weren't quite as excited about it, but on the flip side of that, had a lot of drivers that were really excited about it, and to see well over 30 cars in the field here tonight. It's going to be a fun one all the way to the finish, and I mean, we haven't even seen the most aggressive racing that we're going to see here tonight. These guys are still, like I said, just getting a feel and kind of playing it patient, but you know, you have 2 sets of tires. Some people may have took one under this caution, but you save a set for some point during that final stage and get going. And I'm sitting here looking as we get ready to go back green, and got a couple different driver cams here tonight. But the one that catches my eye first, DeAndre Kane, because I think this is the first time he's carrying an onboard camera for us here tonight. And he's already up 14 positions from where he started as he breaks into the top 10. It's one of the drivers that doesn't have any teammates out here, so DeAndre doing a phenomenal job by himself so far in the 909 Armor All machine. We'll see if he can continue to pick up spots as we get ready for this restart right here. Okay, here we go. Going to be 12 laps complete as they cross the line. Looking for a more uniform restart this time. Green flag is in the air. We're off to the races, and it looks like it is going to be a better restart for majority of the field. These guys are going to get spread out a little quicker. Now, shifting in these is a little bit tougher, too. You got to make sure that you are fully out of the gas and on the clutch before you make that shift. These cars have a tendency, if you're not like the Cup cars or trucks where you can just get through it, that's when you can miss a shift. So, got to be careful, but so far, so good. As everybody works their way down the Alabama gang back straight away. Matthew Baker on the outside. Here comes Jimmy Reynolds with a tandem draft. Cody Nagels pushing him down the back. That'll get the 26 clear down into turn 3. Nobody worried about controlling lanes. You don't need to here. The runs are a lot more sporadic than they are because you can't tandem around this whole track. You do not push in the corners in these cars. In fact, you got to actually try to stay a little bit away because you put a lot of air on that rear spoiler in these cars. They start to get a bit upset, but as tight as they're running here on new tires, everybody should be able to hang on to it, especially with that cool track temp. But you can certainly see some of them fishtailing around as Matthew Baker made that move to the inside. Further back, can have a couple of them line up. It looks like Devin Ray. See what paint scheme he's rocking here tonight. He's got the 27. Kodiak, and then just behind him, Joshua McCullough with the Dale Earnhardt paint scheme. Logan York trying to recover after that early incident. There's the 12 Bojangles machine for Richard Elliott. These are all some of the guys that are sitting back right now, just playing it a little safe. Meanwhile, up front, we've got 3 wide action. It's Matthew Baker back at it, and how about that? He's in a throwback car. He's got the throwback jersey on for Terry Labonte. And he is still stuck on that outside with no drafting assistance, so he's going to fade back, and he's going to have to fall in line. Does he go all the way to the inside? Yes, he does. So is Matthew Baker. Oh, we got one going around out back. It's Ron Morse Jr. Ron Morse Jr. is going to go for a loop. Took one more with him. I figure out who it was that he took with him here. And it looks like it's... we see the 76. Jeremy Osborne, that's who it is.
All right, man.
And it looks like it will bring out the caution here. Is it? Oh, it's for more trouble up front, though. Oh, yikes. The 86 is around now. Oh, hold on to it. That's the 06 of David Sheets. He's trying to save it. Watch out. Coming back up the track. Oh, my goodness. So the 03 is going to go for a slide as well. A couple of them did. That's Ken McCullough Jr., though. And then there's the 86 of Robert DeJersey. As, ooh, watch out. His Chevy's pretty banged up. Front end looks to be, I think, ripped off of that car. Or crumpled in severely, at least. And we saw the Dynaco machine there of Aubrey Thompson. All right, well, this was kind of a couple different crashes that led to this caution, but ultimately the first incident isn't what causes it, but I do want to go back and take a brief look at it, as it did involve 2 of the cars. And I'll tell you what, I've seen 2 incidents now like this, and both of these guys right here especially were very lucky. I don't know how Ron Morris Jr. did not blow over right here. I don't know if something changed with these cars. I don't think it has. But when you get turned around that quick in these, that's usually just about a guaranteed blowover. But Ron Morris Jr. does not. Car stays on the ground, and that really helps him out, because that goes from what would have been a ton of damage if he started barrel rolling to really not that much, all things considered. Now, how it actually starts, is going to be, I think, Ron getting... Does he get down into DeAndre here? Or does he... Let's see. Let's go to the zoomed-in view and see if we can't see. It's the 909 again of DeAndre Kane. And let's see. They're running side by side here. They certainly don't touch. There may have been a bit of netcode there unless Ron actually made that wheel and put himself. But you saw it shoot the left front of that car to the right. Let's see. Let's watch his wheel input here. No, that's Ron's. I think that was Ron's input. You can watch his hands on the wheel here. We'll play it slow for you. Watch as DeAndre Kane gets alongside of him. I think Ron realizes it, and he wants to give him a little bit of room right there. See that little, it's going to see a little bump right there. That's the one that shoots him up, and I think this gets him a little bit out of shape. It does. And now he's washing up as he's trying to save it, and when he washes up, the 43 couldn't quite get checked up in time. David Sheets shoots the gap on the outside, somehow misses it, and then Jeremy Osborne, just the innocent victim there. Nothing he could do, and they both go for a long slide, but you see Ron Morris Jr. does a couple of J-turns, a couple of 360s, but never actually hits anything. And then Jeremy Osborne looks like was in the same boat. I don't think he made contact with anything either. So both of these two should get away. Obviously unscathed here. We'll give you one more view of this before we go look at the wreck that actually led to the caution. As it was Robert DeJersey. So as these two spin on the back, what happens here going into turn 3? Robert DeJersey up racing for the lead. And as they get into the corner here, Nagels is starting to wash up. Oh, Kyler Wynn, that's heavy netcode. That is brutal netcode, in fact, for the 82 and the 89, Trevor Oswinoth and Kyler Wynn, but that's not what causes the wreck here. So watch those, the 89, the 82, Kyler Wynn and Oswinoth, they're not even touching. But then right there, boom, just shoots the 82. But then Cody Nagels here, he must have had, did he have an issue? Or does he just start putting too much wheel into it? I think he just puts too much wheel into it here. He does. Yeah. Well, that's certainly an interesting look. I didn't even know. I'll show you. Boy, that's really interesting. We have got so many things going on here. So first off, again, there's the net code between the 82 and the 89. That's not what causes the wreck. Cody Nagels, he starts getting loose. That's the 6 gold and white machine there on the bottom. Or starts getting tight, excuse me. As, again, he's in dirty air. He's running behind. And with how fast these guys run in the corner, it does make a difference. So as the 51 dives low, Cody catches a little bit of that dirty air right as they get into the corner. He's already being pinched for what it's worth, so he doesn't have that much room to work with. The problem for Cody, though, here is he starts getting tight, and when he turns that wheel full lock to the left, then it's not turning anymore at all because he's got so much wheel to the left that the tires can't grip. They're just scrubbing, and that's why at that point you can see that even when he puts more wheel into it, it just starts going even more straight. Right there. Gets up into the 89, and the wreck's on from here. He actually does a pretty good job working this thing back to center and saves it. But then the 86 out back, as you can see, clearly not as lucky for Robert DeJersey. And then he got clipped by somebody, I think. So we'll play that one more time here from a bit of a wider view. So there goes Nagels to the outside, and then there's the 86. Gets hit on quite a bit, actually, by the 22 there. Who was just trying to find a way to miss it. And right there, yeah, that's where Aubrey Thompson gets his damage. I saw Richard Elliott get involved there as well. That was Christopher McCullough, by the way, in the 22, who kept running into him as he just was trying to get slowed up. Just really tough to do in these cars. And then this is what a look from the blimp cam. And I will say, for what this could have been, a lot of people did a great job missing this one. There goes DeAndre Kane to the outside along to 24. Can't tell who that was. It just snuck by, and then David Sheets, he's going to make a dive to the inside here and hopes to miss it. In fact, if we go to the drone cam here, the straight-on shot, there's the contact. Ken McCullough Jr. spins. The 86 comes down the racetrack, but again, did not collect nearly as many as maybe it looked like it initially was going to. And we get one more view of this here from the turn 3 and 4 cam. All right, so again, wrapping up 17th caution of the night, and it's time to go back green. Here we go, or excuse me, second caution of the night. 17 laps complete. As, oh, one turn right on the restart. It's Trevor Oswinoff. Trevor Oswinoff gets turned right out of the gate. Oh, man, now they're 4 wide on the apron trying to get it figured out. The 22, Christopher McCullough. He's also going to be fading towards the back here. Is Trevor able to get it back going? He is going to get a penalty for the pits, but that should get cleared. Man, just as he gets to the front, bad luck strikes again for KSR and Trevor Oswinoff, as that's going to take him out of contention here until this stage, unless we get a caution beforehand. Meanwhile, up front, we have got a breakaway here now with just about 7 or 8 laps to go in the stage. Single file up front. Kyler Window looking for a move. Further back, though, how about this? 3 wide as everybody's trying to fight their way to the front. They realize it's go time. There's bonus money on the line for this stage. Everybody wants to see if they can be the big winner. Because, again, you figure if you win the stage here, you win money. You don't have to worry about the rest of the race in terms of if you get wrecked, you've already made some profit here tonight. So, ooh, Kyler wiggled. That's going to open the door here for Matthew Baker. Baker's got a bit of a run here. I don't know if he'll take it this time. He's looking. Kyler looking for a block even lower. Matthew Baker, does he go here? No, he doesn't. He'll stay in line for now and just push. And I think that's that veteran experience. He's trying to get these guys to break away from everybody else so they don't have to worry about racing anybody but themselves. William Schwindenhammer, he has started in 18th and not really gained any spots since. The driver out of Colorado Springs. You can see that front group, they tried to run away. They haven't been able to yet. As these second group being led right now by Hunter Reynolds, they are catching up. Mike Davenport in there, Tyler Vickery, David Sheets, Jeff Merck. And Jeff Merck, of course, in the Navy car. And there's the 909 of DeAndre Kane and the 6, who's also been impressive tonight. Not David Sheets 6, but Steve Sizemore. That 6. Oh, we got one going around. Jeremy Osborne, hold your hat. Oh, my goodness. That's going to bring out a caution, I would assume. We got at least one. Now it's going to be 2. Man, another big moment of a car coming up the racetrack that somehow keeps from collecting a whole bunch of them. But looks like Jeremy's going to just bring it to a halt right there for now as he'll try to get it fired back up. Ken McCullough Jr., the other car involved in this one. And it's just, we've seen it for a couple people tonight. Started with Stamper, and here's Jeremy Osborne just getting into the outside wall. And as he bounces off, there goes the 41. And then Ken McCullough Jr., who slid towards that inside wall. And unfortunately, I don't think he found a way to miss it here. He did not. You see, he's going to turn the wheel as far left as he can go. Starts to get it working back to the right. Excuse me. He starts to get it working back that way, but unfortunately just runs out of racetrack to do so. But nonetheless, like I said, we stay green, so we go back up front where we find Kyler Wynn leading the inside, Matthew Baker leading the outside, Talon Smith, he's been in the top 3 just about all night, and Joe Herta, what a pleasant surprise he continues to be in. You wondered how some of the, I don't want to say rookies, but some of the newer guys to the money racing scene would be here, and the legends, and Joe Herta, one of the guys that it seems like is getting a little bit of good luck on his side for KSR here tonight, as he sits second on the outside, trying to push Baker again. You can't push in the corner, but if you time it right off the corner, you can get linked up as soon as you get onto the backstretch, and these cars can make a lot of ground when you get locked up. There you go, 2x2 tandem on the inside and the outside, so they continue to drag race it out. Kyler Wynn taking the shorter way around, but Matthew Baker able to get the momentum down the straights. Logan York in a duck in line, it looked like, and then third group that formed, that's Mark Vondell there, Kenneth Stamper, Richard Elliott, and Aubrey Thompson. Going to be coming to 3 laps to go in the stage this time. Not 100% sure on whether or not they're going to throw a caution at the time of the stage break. You would assume so. And again, we're kind of, I think we're going to go with I think they're going to throw one because again, they're going to have a payout on that stage. Now, of course, if we get a caution, I would say any time from this point within the next couple of laps, that would officially do it and end your stage. But everybody continues to find a way to get things sorted out. 24 looking around. That's Tyler Vickery. And then Malik Ray. Boy, where did he come from? I saw him back in that second group, and I know that group was catching, but Malik Ray said, forget this. I'm going to get by all of you guys, and then I'll just go catch that group by myself. He's done just that. Dylan Jones, Hunter Reynolds trying to break off this pack as well. And William Schwindenhammer, Jason Maines, he's starting to make his way back up in that 2 car. Excuse me, the 29 machine, rather. And there's Logan York in the 02. 27, Devin Ray, a few spots back behind that. So, oh, that's a big block by Kyler. Man, you got to be really careful in these doing that. I'll tell you what, you cannot get away with the amount of blocking in these 87s as you can in the Truck or Xfinity cars. When you push somebody in these, it's got to be a very, very easy, gentle push, and then you can put the throttle back down. But when you get guys throwing blocks like that, they're going to get slam drafted, and man, it just makes me so nervous watching up here. Something's going to have to give eventually. Question's going to be who and where. Definitely going to see the big one at some point tonight, but there you go. 1 lap to go now in stage 1 here. 3 wide into the corner. Where did Malik Ray come from, as he's now going to look to the bottom? Saw him get up to this group, but he wants some more. Matthew Baker fading high. Oh, Joe Herta looking to give him a push. Has to back it down just a little bit. They got in line. The 51's got a big run. Kyler Wynn looked for a block. Nothing there. Oh, they're going to hit. The 51's going to have to come back on the racetrack as Kyler Wynn scatters. They're going to be 4 wide into turn 3. Oh, Talon's getting tight on the bottom. Kyler's trying to hold it. Joe Herta's in the wall up top. Matthew Baker will take the lead, but is the gap too much? Kyler Wynn's going to jump back up top. Malik Ray's looking for a push. Baker is going to have to find a way to throw a block. Here they come into the trial. Who's going to get the extra bonus? Baker can't do anything. He gets split drag race to the line. It goes to Kyler Wynn. Kyler Wynn will take the stage win. Oh my goodness. Well, if that was for the stage win, whew, boy, we are in for quite a race finish. Wow. I'm looking for the official gap here. We don't have it until we get to replay, but it was not much. And look at that shot right there. That shows you all you need to know. Matthew Baker here just found himself getting caught in no man's land. And to be fair, he realized, you know, we saw Kyler try the block, and I don't think Baker was one of the guys that was going to try one there anyway, but if he had any doubts, they got answered when Kyler Wynn and Talon Smith almost wrecked when Kyler tried one on the backstretch. But then as he gets split, Talon goes to the bottom. You see then Dylan actually goes with Baker, and so that kills the run for the 51. But then Kyler up top had all he needed. And if we go to the photo finish cam here, back this up a little bit, see just how close it was here. Coming to the line. And they'll come into frame right there. Try to clean this up a little bit for you. Man, not by much, but probably maybe half a car length at most. The separation between Kyler Wynn and Talon Smith. And by the way, the stage winner tonight, we talked about that extra bonus. Not really a bonus, but just, again, winner of the stage. And it looks like initially it was set to be $50, and that was based off 45 entries, so maybe a little less, but I mean, entry fee here tonight was $19, so either way, Kyler Wynn is again now already ahead. He's in the green, so it's going to be just playing with house money from this point on, as it is now going to be a restart with probably about 20 laps to go or so, as they work their way off turn 4. Now I would say would be a time to maybe take that first set of tires. Definitely if you haven't taken one yet. If you already took a set, I don't know if you necessarily go in here. You see Kyler's going to go in, Talon's going to go in as well, so does Malik, and looks like it's going to be basically the entire field. So as they all go into pits, we are going to take our first break of the night, but we'll go side by side so you don't miss a thing. Stay with us. We'll be right back for the final stage at Talladega.
flag is in the air. We are racing.
3 by 3.
Welcome back to Talladega Superspeedway, PGR eSports with the weekly Intimidator Superspeedway Series. Stage 1 complete. Your stage winner was Kyler Wynn. Doesn't look like we have him sitting in a Discord, so not going to be able to get a stage interview, but with the aggression and the speed he's had so far here tonight, wouldn't be shocked if we're talking to him again at the end of this race, potentially in victory lane. By the way, good to see everybody out here in the chat tonight. Looked over one point, and I think we hit a peak viewership of 40. So again, that's huge for us. We can't, again, appreciate that a lot, guys. So hope you all are enjoying your Thursday evening as we approach midnight here in about 45 minutes on the East Coast. And looking for who we got in here: Aubrey Thompson, Devin Ray, Infinite Frost, Troy Elliott, Jesse Wise, Kenny Reel, Mark Math, Lisa Winter, 7Cs, Thomas Parker, Baker's mom. Good to see everybody in here. And a lot of people active in the chat. Lisa Winter says, Tyler Vickery, what color is your car? Tyler is the 24. I believe he's a green and white. Yep, sure enough. There you go. There's the 24 machine of Tyler Vickery, who, again, I know we mentioned it, but he's been doing a phenomenal job here tonight. You see, he's got one of the new Pontiacs that iRacing added in, not the most recent update, but one of the more recent ones. And he's up 27 positions from where he started this race at. He currently runs in the 5th spot. And again, payouts here tonight, it's top 6 payout. And so you don't have to win the race to make a lot of money. In fact, payouts are as followed: 225 to 1st, 175 to 2nd, 150 to 3rd, 100 to 4th and 5th. So actually, apologize, it's top 5. But the point being, you still got a lot of spots that you can work with to try to get some money, and any of those spots pays really good. So I know the aggression level has already been high, but I think it's getting ready to amp up even more, because now you've got some of the heavy hitters mixed in with a couple guys that tried a bit of strategy play here. It looks like Joshua McCullough and Christopher Carter decided to stay out. They'll make up row 1. Talon Smith, Malik Ray, row 2. And then Tyler Vickery and your stage 1 winner of Kyler Wynn rounding out row number 3. All right, here we go. Field in the hands of Joshua McCullough. Watch for another bottleneck restart here. We've seen trouble on 2 out of the 3 that we've had so far here tonight. Got to try to make it clean. Green flag back in the air. It looks like, oh, there it is, Malik Ray. I don't know if he quite missed a shift there, but he certainly had some sort of issue that caused a lot of separation for that outside line right out of the gate. Christopher Carter with no help, so he's just going to bail and drop to the inside lane. Further back, these cars going to take probably about a lap, if not a little bit more, to get fully wound up. But here we go, the 51 of Talon Smith. He doesn't want to wait. He's already looking to the outside here of Joshua McCullough. Oh, looking to get split. Christopher Carter thought 3 wide. That's going to lose all the momentum there for the inside, but now the middle breaks apart. They start to resurge again into turn number 3. Kyler Wynn deciding who he wants to go with. Looks like he's going to stick with the middle for now. Malik Ray up top, so now the 82 will jump back to that 3rd line. Christopher Carter running the middle. Now we're going to see a 4th line potentially here. 3 wide, Tyler Vickery. Does he look 4? No, he doesn't. 3 by 3 as they cross the stripe. This is a ticking time bomb. This thing's going to explode eventually here. They cannot do this for another 20 laps. They're good to go on fuel, by the way, though. But I just don't see any way these guys go green all the way to the finish with how aggressive it is. There's another big move. This time it's going to be Malik Ray as he looks to the top. Between the 51, both 51s, I guess I should say, the 82, and a couple others, I mean, the amount of lead changes that we have had here tonight is just, I mean, it's ridiculous. But they still want more. Again, you got that one fast spare in your pocket, and a lot of people have not had to take it yet. So I think they figure, you know, might as well amp up the aggression level a little bit, see if can't make some progress towards the front. And if you're wondering how all this looks from a little bit further back, look no further than the onboard view for Aubrey Thompson. As Aubrey can see that 3-wide action all the way at the front, and he's got a little bit of 3-wide action here just in front of him. So that's the 06 of David Sheets, Transmedic paint scheme. He's trying to get back in line. Oh man, Sheets had some contact there with the 14 of Jonathan Herbert. Herbert got into the wall and then had to try to save it from there. That was another big moment. But as we go back up front, Malik Ray who's already won before in PGR, looking to see if he can add another one in a special PGR race anytime we go to one of the series that is not the trucks. Matthew Baker further back. You see he's starting to pop back into frame now, sitting just behind the 34. And you knew it was just a matter of time, too, before Andrew Navarro would make his way up here. I think he was one of the guys that was really wanting to keep that car clean through that first stage. Didn't care too much about the 50 bucks. Would rather try to save it all here for the big money that's going to be offered to the winner of this race. One around. Oh, he's up in the air. I don't know if he went all the way over. Couldn't tell who that was. As right now my camera work is about on par with Fox Sports. I apologize for it. Trying to get to who it was, and I can't find it right now. I think it was Ron Morris Jr., though. It was. The 76. And caution is out. Uh-oh, do we have more trouble up front here? Yes, we do. Oh, big one. Huge crash. Coming into the tribal, one upside down. It's Aubrey Thompson as he climbs now onto the 30 of Stamper. He'll land back on all four. And that was the big one. Oh, my goodness. We had about 25 cars in one camera shot right there that were all piling into each other. And that was the big one here tonight. And before we go to the big one, let's go back and see this contact here for Ron Morse Jr. first off, as he almost led to our first blowover here tonight. This thing got really light. But he's coming off the corner here. That's Jeremy Osborne. Those two tangled once here tonight, but it wasn't intentional. And then, again, right there, it doesn't look like, to me at least, that Jeremy's making any contact with Ron. I think Ron's just loose here. Now, do they make contact into the corner? No, they never do. Now, Ron does get those left sides just below the apron, and he starts getting a little loose from there, and it does kind of seem like he was playing catch-up from that point on, and then turns around and look at this thing. Soon as it gets backwards, air catches it, gets under, all four tires off the ground. He does almost like a corkscrew, but never completely gets into the barrel roll, so that's, hey, I'm counting that as a save. He stuck the landing, got some airtime for bonus points, and then never hit the inside wall either, so all in a day's work for Ron Morris Jr. Give you one more view of this from the cockpit before we go back live, or not live, but rather to that other wreck that happened about half a lap later. Wow, who was that just barely missed him as he was flipping, or started flipping rather? Watch this. Oh, it's the 03 of Ken McCullough Jr. Boy, I cannot imagine what was going through his mind there as he saw an upside-down Ron Morris Jr. in his windshield. Next thing he knew, and he somehow missed it. That was a phenomenal job by Ken. This was his onboard view. Wow. Man, oh man, does not get much closer than that. And then as we go back up front here, let's see how this one gets sparked. Again, it was just about all the way at the front of the field here. Maybe a little bit further back than that is. Oh, it's the 51 of Talon Smith. Almost, he's the first guy that gets out of shape here. And is it just a stack up? Watch the 82 of Kyler Wynn here. Does he get loose? Yeah, Kyler has some sort of issue there because you can see he's got to check up. And when he does, Talon's got to run. Talon checks up, but then Dylan Jones, who also has to check up, it's just kind of that chain reaction, and they can't all check up in time. And then once Dylan Jones gets into the 51 here, that's going to turn him down the racetrack into Tyler Vickery and Hunter Reynolds. And then at that point, the wreck is on. Look at the amount of guys this collects. And again, in these cars, it is really, really tough to stop. So this one, it's a little bit more reasonable to see these guys flying in because you a lot of times got a better shot unless you are way back just trying to find a gap and shoot the gap than you do actually being able to slow up in these cars if you're anywhere within the vicinity of the crash. So let's go to the onboard view here for Kyler Wynn and see if he didn't have potentially like a bit of an issue here in terms of either getting loose. Let's see. I couldn't quite tell. Let me play that one more time. His hands are certainly really busy here. Yeah, it does actually. It does get loose on him, and then it gets loose on him again. And so that's why he had to get out of the throttle as much as he did. It's interesting, especially with these guys being on still relatively fresh tires. You got to think that maybe that's just Kyler putting a little bit too much wheel input into the car. Not sure on that one. There's the onboard view. That was for Devin Ray, by the way. So he actually did a pretty nice job maneuvering through this one. As you see the big pile up in front of him, and then he's going to get on the brakes here, but he's still coasting. I mean, look at this. As long as he's been out of it at this point, and he's still struggling to slow down. Whoa! Oh my goodness. Boy, I don't know how Devin found a way to squeak through that one, but he did. Man, that was... I'll tell you what, it does not get much closer than that for the 27, but let's go and get a couple more angles of this one from the front. And I think the blimp cam might do it the most justice in terms of just the magnitude of this crash. As, I mean, look at them all. It's got to be at least 10 to 15 of them right here. A couple of them almost went over. Matthew Baker saw that car, the back end, get lifted up. And then just plowing in. There's Cody Nagels. He had nowhere to go. The 909, DeAndre Kane. The 6 is stopped. Get one more view of this here from the drone cam. Well, we certainly had the first big one here tonight. As, I mean, I think it's easier to name the guys who probably weren't in this wreck. There you see the 60 of Merck, the 02 of Logan York, all sneaking by on the outside of the racetrack. And speaking of, was there any more wrecks up here? There's the 3 slide up. That's what I was worried about. And I heard a hit there, so somebody took a huge shot. Not sure exactly who it was. There's Joshua McCall in the 3s. He came to a halt. Watch this one more time here. As he slides up, it's going to be Logan York. As Logan York hit the outside one in order to avoid him, and then, boom, big hit by the 14. Jonathan Herbert, who also cannot find a way to dodge that one. All right, back live. Going to put us with this restart now. 14 to go. Up front, the Australian Robert Jersey. Robert did Jersey, in fact, with Joe Herta to his outside in second. Jesse Calloway third. Jeff Merck in fourth. Christopher McCullough now inside the top 5. Green flag is in the air. 14 laps to go at Talladega. Good restart this time, at least for the front half of the field, as everybody else get going 3 wide. Malik Ray already looking to that 3rd lane. Matthew Baker probably not going to be too much of a fan of that. He's stuck in the middle, though, nowhere he can go for now. Malik looking to see if he can draw some help. Yes, he does. There goes the 27 of Devin Ray up to the top of the racetrack. Jeff Merck's now going to look high as well. Oh, man, Joe Herta lost all the help. Big push on the outside and the inside here. They're going to both get clear of the middle. And Jeff Merck will go ahead and drop down a lane. Does look like the 86 of the Jersey has a little bit of damage on that front end. Does look to be a bit caved in, so we'll see how long these guys are willing to stick behind him before somebody maybe looks for a pass. But right now, everybody continues to battle it out because at this point, it's all about track position. There are no more pit stops as we've got 4 wide. The 51 of Talent Smith looking for a power move. Baker, is he going to fade behind the 51? Yes, he does. Man, the 4 wide, I don't know how we have made it work here so far tonight, but they have found a way. And now you've got the 1 of Joe Herta looking to get some of his first laps tonight. Hold on just a minute, the 34. Andrew Navarro, I think he got into the outside wall, and now he's trying to hold it up there as everybody else tries to figure out a way to get around him. Looks like they'll all be able to. Herta still leads, doing a little bit of aero blocking right now. He's just going to jump down to the bottom of the racetrack. To the travel they come. Laps go by fast here when they're ticking them off at about 40 to, what is that? I think it's about 46 seconds a lap or so. A lot faster than the normal cup cars here, and all of a sudden the 51 of Talon Smith took the lead into 1, and he's starting to surge away with it here just a little bit. 33 looking high. That's Christopher Carter. I mean, I'm seeing names up here that this would be a huge momentum shift. Uh-oh, here we go again. 4 wide. Malik Ray looking to the inside into turn 3. Kyler Wynn's going to follow. Oh, they're going to bottle up. This isn't going to work, is it? Oh, man, Matthew Baker. I think he bailed out again just to make sure these guys didn't wreck. And now the 33 is going to tuck behind the 86. Kyler Wynn looks for another move. Joe Herta makes one to the bottom. Into the travel, Malik Ray. Going to lead that top. He'll get a push, though, here from Kyler Wynn. The outside now stacked up. They'll have the run. Oh, wrecking. One around into the group. Up and over goes the 86 and the 87. Huge wreck as the 87 goes into the catch fence. The Jersey's in it and a couple others, as that's Richard Elliott along with the 6 of Steve Sizemore. Richard Elliott still alongside the wall. I was trying to figure out who the other, or where the other car that was in the wall was. There it was, Jesse Calloway, who we saw fly into the catch fence. And somehow that car is still driving. There you go. First blow over the night, and it comes in a big way. It took 2 of them. Talladega is hungry right now. So we have been collecting quite a few drivers, and here we go. Let's go back to this one here and see how it gets sparked up. So we're going to go to the 87 here. Jesse Calloway, because that's right where this starts. And by the way, Calloway, another driver who did a phenomenal job working to get his way up here, finally did it. Here we go. Watch this. As somebody gets turned here down to the inside. They start to bottle up, and then there it is. So the 33 is actually who turns. That's Christopher Carter. He turns the 86 of New Jersey down the racetrack. He gets into the 87, and then, whoa, those are 2 huge flips, especially for the 86. He almost did a complete backflip or front flip there, and then the 87 bounces off the catch fence. And looks like Robert New Jersey lands back on all 4, but the problem is that car still has enough momentum to wash right back up the racetrack, and when it does, collects the 12 of Richard Elliott and the 6 of Steve Sizemore, and then he fades back down the track. I thought for sure he collected at least a couple more here. And that's a tough break. I'm not sure how much damage New Jersey got, but I think he probably got the worst of this one, at least from what we saw when they started to get back rolling. Show you another angle of this here, either from the zoomed in or the chopper. Let's see what's going to actually show it here. We'll go to the chopper view first off and watch the contact from the 33. We said it doesn't take much, and when you're in the travel, cars are already sensitive here, and there's just a little stack up as the 86 gets to the bumper. The 51, 33 doesn't catch in time, and Carter, I mean, the contact was just so slight right here. But it's right as they come out of the tri-oval, and those cars are unloading off the banking, and when he hits him, there's nothing to do. And man, the 87 just barely got clipped. He almost escaped it. Fortunately, no dice in this case. Give you another look here from the onboard view. Before we do that, actually, let's see. I think the starter cam got a pretty good view of this one. We've got quite a few good angles of this. It's actually... Nope, not quite going to catch it on that one here. Do we get it to our turn 1 cam? There it is. I think all in all, it ended up collecting about 4 or 5 of them. But the 87 and the 86, without a question, certainly getting the worst of this one. Let's get a couple onboard views here after we take one more zoomed in view. And watch, shows the 86 as they both get turned around, they get hit. So that gives them kind of that little bit of a wedge that they need to get up in the air. And then once the wind catches it, it's on from there. 86, he was all over the place. That was the 22, by the way, of Christopher McCullough, who had to find a way to sneak under him. Let's go to his onboard view and see what he saw through this one. Oh my goodness. Let's see what Matthew Baker also saw through this one here, as he was a little bit further back at the time, I think. Nope, never mind. He was on the inside. Just misses, and then it all happens out back behind him. Get one more shot here from the 80. We'll go to the 87. So I think he had a pretty gnarly ride. The 86 did as well, but I think this one's going to show a little bit more. Well, I've always said the 87's the one series, at least in officials, that I can't get mad when I wreck in, especially if it's at a super speedway. Because, hey, at least you get to have a pretty fun time wrecking with it. Big blowovers, flips, barrel rolls, anything in between. And I don't think that's the last one we'll necessarily see here tonight, because we're going to be coming to green here with 7 laps to go. If we get another caution here in a couple laps, we could be looking to overtime. And so I said how at the beginning of the night everyone had that one fast spare. A lot of them, though, have had to take it now between these last couple cautions. That first one, which of course took out a whole bunch of drivers, and then the more recent one, which took out a couple more. So you got Malik Ray leading the way. He's up 7 from where he started. Kyler Wynn sits in second. He's still hanging on to the podium. Joe Herta in third. He's up 12 from where he started. Talon Smith back in fourth. And there's Christopher McCullough after narrowly missing that last track. Rounds out your top 5. Logan York back in 6th. Ken McCullough Jr. in 7th. Jeff Merck in 8th. Tyler Vicker in 9th. And William Schwindenhammer rounds out your top 10. Couple brief side notes here just before we get back to green flag action. Tomorrow night, PGR eSports will be back live with some McCullough Motorsports money racing as they will be heading to, I believe it's Talladega for 50 laps. Not sure what series yet. That broadcast will go live at 10:30, so make sure you stop by and at least let us know how your day's going. And then for tonight, again, the payouts top 5. And if you're just tuning in, appreciate you being here. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy what you're seeing, please leave us something. Either give us a follow, subscribe, whatever it's called, or let us know in the comments that you're having a good time. Like whatever makes you feel like we did the part. So of course, I keep saying we. I'm so used to having Baker up here in the booth with me, but he's still down on the track looking to see if he can find a way to win this race. But he's going to have his work cut out for him now because he's further back. So he's in 26th. He's got a long ways to go, but a couple of big hitters back there that are also going to be trying to crawl their way back to the front. All right, here we go. Malik Ray rolls back into the Geico restart zone. Green flag back in the air. 7 laps to go at Talladega. And it's a good restart from the inside. In fact, Malik Ray is going to get clear, and he's going to have full control of whatever lane he wants right here. Down into turn 1 they go, 2 by 2. Kyler Wynn, Talon Smith trying to get locked up. Talon doesn't want to push him just yet. They'll wait until they get off the banking onto the backstretch. Ooh, you got a lot more cars lined up on the inside than you do the outside. Further back, though, it's getting really, really sketchy right now. I see 3, almost a 4 wide now. Mark Vondell stuck in the middle of all of that. He doesn't necessarily have anywhere to go. Matthew Baker trying to dice his way through it as now they're checking up. Oh, man. Trying to hold on to it here as a couple of them almost went around. They all save it, so back up front we go. Kyler Wynn leading on the outside. Who's going to make that third lane get going first? Jeff Merckx trying. Joe Herta gets into the door of Christopher McCullough. Kyler Wynn still leading. Remember, he got the stage win. Can he go perfect back-to-back here? Stage and then the race win. I don't know. I think Malik Ray might have something to say about it. That 51's fast, but Kyler's going to make a move back to the top. Maybe these two try to perform a little bit of teamwork here. And Talon Smith gave him a huge push right there. I mean, the middle didn't even gain any ground because of the run that 51 had, and when he gave it to the 82, they took off. But Kyler jumped back down to the bottom and just continues to try to work to distribute the momentum around here a little bit as he's now going to get Malik Ray to pull up to the top with him. Talon Smith sees that. He's going to jump to the inside. Joe Herta will as well. And then the 03 of Ken McCullough Jr. First time he's been up here inside just about the top 5. He's a little bit further back in 7th right now. And he's looking, he wants some more. Logan York, great recovery after being involved in that lap 1 incident. And then Jeff Merck right now rounds out this lead group, but only 6 of them can take home any money. So there's still, one huge out back, up and over, 2, 3. How many is he going to collect? DeAndre Kane was one of them. They all end up on the inside wall as Mark Vondell also got in it. The 59. And there's DeAndre Kane. Christopher Carter, couldn't tell. I don't think he was the other one. Trying to figure out who was the other one. It's all 3 of them. So that'll put us under our 6th caution of the night as Mark's tried to get it back rolling. Let's see if this is another classic case of what we've seen all night with somebody getting tight and hitting the wall. Nope. This one's going to be something a bit different here. Watch DeAndre Kane, as I think he's just going to get loose here. Tries the car down the racetrack. Well, no. He did get a little bit of help there. And he certainly did get a little bit of help. And that's just a tough spot. I don't know if I can necessarily pin that on anyone too hard. I mean, when we watch, let's watch from the chopper view. So when DeAndre jumps back low here, Cody's got to run. And Cody's going to try to take it to the top of the racetrack. The problem is that, well, first of all, he's putting a lot of air on the back of that 909, and so that's going to get him loose. But the bigger problem is that they're starting to come off the corner, so just kind of the natural tendency there is that DeAndre Kane, he's going to start washing up. And, I mean, Cody doesn't fully commit all the way to the outside. He's just trying to get, I guess, maybe a side draft, but he just misjudges it. And I say he misjudges it in the sense of they end up making contact, but the 909 did wash up a bit, so you know, if the 909 stays down, maybe Cody never hits him, but at the same time, if Cody goes up a little bit, maybe the 909 never hits him, and once that contact is first made, it's on from there as the 909 got back into the outside wall, or actually he hit a car that ended up hitting the outside wall. I was trying to figure out exactly who it was here, and I think it was indeed Cody, and when he comes up here and hits Cody, that's when this car gets wedged up, and there it goes. And this wasn't the only one, because Mark Vondel is going to come along, and he hits the 86 to Jersey. And I'll tell you what, Jersey has had a rough night. They have been bullying him around for a guy who's had so much speed. He has just had all sorts of bad luck here tonight. Got to hope it turns around for him at some point. Taking an onboard view here with DeAndre Kane. And in fact, actually, this is good because I saw Mark Math in the chat saying he's loose. I don't know. I disagree here. I think, let's see. So he dives down, straightens it out, and then yeah, he's definitely not loose. If anything, he got a little bit tight. But again, I don't think he's expecting Cody to make that move at that second. I think it was just two drivers going at it and just an unfortunate situation. But then there's him getting up and over, as Mark Vondel did as well. Give you a couple more views of this one. Here's one from the backstretch cam. And I think, yeah, we do get a good view of this from the spotter stand, but with the zoomed in shot. And watch, I think DeAndre Kane definitely took the worst roll out of this right here. As he gets up, there he goes, and this thing does a flip and then a 360 while it's with the rear bumper on the ground and the hood facing the sky, or the front bumper rather facing the sky. But then eventually, once he lands, he's going to be able to realize that that damage is pretty significant enough where that might be a race ender. Meanwhile, up front, Kyler Wynn leading, Malik Ray second, Christopher McCullough back in third, Talon Smith in fourth, and Joe Herta rounds out your top five. All right, as we get ready to go back green, it's going to take us to our first overtime, so we are going to take one more quick break. We'll be right back in about 30 to 45 seconds for the restart. Stay with us. Welcome back to Talladega Superspeedway. Getting ready for overtime number one, the first inaugural PGR eSports Intimidator Superspeedway Series 87's race. So again, we've seen a lot of different series, but I'll certainly say we have not seen anything like we've seen tonight. But I've pleasantly enjoyed it, and I think some of the drivers are going to be pretty surprised with how much maybe they liked it in terms of this big pack. I mean, we've seen a lot of guys mixing it up, and it seems like everybody's had an opportunity, but at the same time, it's not that classic where the lanes just get locked up and nobody can do anything. It's been a lot of fun to watch. It's getting ready to decide a winner. Here we go. Green flag in the air. Overtime number 1. 2 laps to go at Talladega. Kyler Wynn got a big jump, but he's quickly going to jump to the top of the racetrack. Now, the big question for me here is, how much do him and Malik coordinate? We know that they like to work together, but these cars, it's a little tough to do that. So does Malik look to see if he can go for one himself? Yes, he does. The 51's going to jump to the top of the racetrack. Joe Herta will choose to go to the bottom. Malik's going to have to do a little bit of blocking here, but I think Talon Smith's going to look for a move to the inside. Watch for a big block here from Malik Ray at the end of the backstretch. Does the 51 of Talon look low? Not yet. Playing patience, playing patience. There he goes. He's going to try to cover. It's not going to work. Talon Smith is going to go around. This is going to be the big one. Talon Smith up into the wall. There they all go. Huge wreck into turn 3, into 4. We've got multiple upside down. Kyler Wynn he's got a wheel bouncing somewhere. He's going to slide to a halt on his roof. We have got a mess of this one. Kyler went upside down. I don't know if he's, I was going to say, even if he flips over, I don't know if he's getting back to the pits. That car is completely totaled, and well, he had one big one here tonight. I think we just had an even bigger one than that. Holy smokes. Let's go back and take a look at this. As Kenny Real says, it's a parking lot. You got that right. And this is the aggression level. And again, guys will try this kind of stuff in a lot of the series we go to, and I'm telling you, this is not the series for it. It's not going to work. And so far here tonight, anything like this that we've seen, it hasn't worked, and it doesn't work here either for Talon Smith, who, by the way, is really good in the 87. So it's not necessarily a mistake. As let's see, when he jumps down, is he clear by the time he gets down? No, he's not. He hesitates a little bit. If he doesn't hesitate at all there, he is clear. But that slight hesitation, as he kind of hangs in the middle and then drips a little bit further down, Kyler Wynn is there, and Kyler's not lifting at this point in the race. He's saying, if you're coming down, you better come down and make that move assertive. You're not going to just sit here and kind of hang both lanes. And once he turns around, you knew it was going to be big because he's going back up the racetrack. Ken McCullough Jr., the first car to arrive on scene that gets involved, and then after that, it's just big hit after big hit. Talon Smith, looks like he gets upside down. And then Kyler Wynn with an even bigger wreck. The 26, Jimmy Reynolds, he got upside down as well. Dylan Jones looked like he may have somehow found a way to shoot through that. We'll go back and look at that for just a minute. Let's give you a bit of another angle here. Watch this hit for Kyler. Boom, into the wall, and then gets lifted into the catch fence. And he must have got pile driven about 5 different times through that wreck. As they all slide down and the dust eventually settles to see just how many guys were all involved in this. But I said I think Dylan Jones sneaked through. Well, let's find out. Here we go. Sees him wreck and immediately gets on the brakes. He realizes, though, he's not going to be able to completely stop in time, so starts making those steering maneuvers now. And then, oh, he did get hit in the right side there by one flipping car. But, man, I don't know how he missed. I couldn't tell exactly what that was, but let's see. Yeah, it's Jimmy Reynolds. I don't know how he missed Jimmy Reynolds. And he may have actually just slightly clipped him, but I don't think that was enough to really give him any damage per se. Nice job though by Dylan Jones right there at the end, and then let's see if we can get one more angle of Kyler Wynn. Actually, let's go to his gearbox view. Certainly not the way we're used to seeing the camera pointing, as in Kyler Wynn's case here. It was looking towards the sky, but the 43 was involved. Devin Ray, the 14's got damaged. Jonathan Herbert, Mark Von Dell. Certainly another big one that did not disappoint. So now, as we go back live again, we'll try here for overtime number 2. And now we do have 3 total overtime attempts. So if we can't get it done on this one, we can try it one more time. So it'll be, again, 2 laps to go. We've got to make it to the white flag for this race to be official. If you can't make it there, or if we can't make it there, then we'll have to rack them up. Give it another try. I was looking around at who we got near the front and who we've got in chat. Let's see if we can get a quick word here with Tyler Vickery. Hey, Tyler, this is Austin up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, man, what a night it's been. You've been up front just about the entire night, even through some of the adversity. I mean, what is it about the 87s? Is this your car, or was this a surprise to you as well?
No, this is definitely one of my cars. I do a lot of stuff with the Moon Car guys with Travis Brown, so it's like I'm kind of comfortable with it. I know they just had with the update recently, these cars are way much more smoother for me and they fit my driving style, so I'm able to go a little aggressive. Still have my fast repair, which is amazing, and even with the damage I got after caught up in that one big one I was involved in, so hopefully I can just hang on for a little bit longer.
Well, you mentioned aggression, and you're going to need a whole bunch of it right here. What kind of becomes the game plan at the end of this? With, again, we know how much different they drive than any of the other cars. Do you try to get to the lead and stay there, or do you maybe try to time up a move where you're pushing somebody and then pass on the last lap?
I feel like I'm gonna have to probably try to time something. These cars are a lot harder in the corners. You have to definitely still lift a little bit. I'm trying to think about pulling off a little guy's Brock Westmoreland that I did to him a few seasons ago in the Little Guys series. So I'm trying to get some ideas what I'm going to do that. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, especially from the fourth. I want to try to help Christopher get up a little bit in front of Malik, but Malik's a pro driver, so got to find a way to get around him.
Absolutely. Well, you've been good so far. Good luck here these next 2 laps. We'll see if we're talking to you in victory lane.
Fingers crossed.
There you go, Tyler Vickery. I think everything he said was just about the best way you could say it here at this point in the race. And Malik Ray, it's true. Pro driver, tough to beat. He knows what he's going to want to do here. Question is, who's got the counter for him? A couple of the big hitters are out of it, including Talon Smith and Kyler Wynn, arguably the 2 best ones of the night. So here we go, overtime number 2, and it is a 2-lap shootout. Green flag back in the air at Talladega. Oh, we got 2, 3 spinning out back. Multiple cars spinning. Oh, man, this is a mess. Couldn't even make it to the start-finish line, and so now we will be headed to overtime number 3. I couldn't even see exactly who all this one collected, but Richard Elliott may have been the first car that kind of got jumped out of line here. Let's see if there's a stack of it in front of him here. Oh, it's the inside that really starts to get stacked, and then Richard Elliott just trying to find a way to miss it there. So he got involved as he had nothing he could do. Let's go back here and ride on board again with Cody Nagels, because it almost looked like that's where... Well, there you had it. Cody, when he ran into him, lifted up the back tires, and his car went right around on him. See, who was that? Was it the 86? Man, again, nobody has been cutting. Man, I mean, this is... I'm sitting here looking, and the Jersey has not gotten a break so far here tonight. These guys have been bullying him left and right. All right, so Go Back Live is really not too much more to look at on that one in terms of we know how it happened now. So again, this will be final overtime attempt, and if we get a caution, then that means this race will end under caution. Now, we certainly hope that that doesn't happen, and again, they only got to make 1 lap for it to officially be considered, or I guess I should say for it to be considered official, as the pace car still has the lights on. So didn't initially have it planned, but we are going to go ahead and take one more break, but we'll go side by side so you don't miss a thing, and we will be back for the restart here at Talladega.
green flag is in the air. We are racing.
3 by 3. Almost no trouble. Around goes Alex Hill.
On into the outside wall goes Hill. They're wrecking big time out back. We're not going to throw a caution. To the finish. Who gets it at the line? Cody Nagels wins it at Talladega.
Welcome back to Talladega Superspeedway, where we're getting ready for what will be the official final overtime now. Again, normally we'd have our rules analyst / race control Matthew Baker up here commentating with us, but since he's racing here tonight, one of the things that we're still a little unsure on as it stands right now is if race control is going to throw a caution if we have, say a certain amount wreck. I don't think iRacing controls the cautions here tonight. Should be all admin, so will race control throw a caution if you've got a couple wreck, or will they throw it if, say, the whole field wrecks, or will they not throw it at all? I mean, it's going to be really interesting here. The best way to avoid all that, simple, make it to the white flag and then go for it. But, if I say that, but you figure if you're outside the top 5, maybe back to top 10, you got to go right from the green. You don't have time to wait for the white flag before you start making moves if you want to get within the top 5 and potentially cash out a money position. And I'm looking at Jeff Merck right here, and you all are seeing the same thing I'm seeing. This is not good, because look what he's missing on that car. He has got no rear bumper cover, and the last time we saw this was with Kyler Wynn, and it didn't. Now the good news here, it looks like, is Jeff Merck does still have a spoiler on there, even though it's all beat up and battered. But last time we saw someone without a rear bumper cover like that, things don't usually work out too well. So we'll see how much speed this 60 has, but I'm more worried about how stable that thing's going to be. The rear end being missing, and then the rear spoiler being that damaged and kind of just flopping around on the deck lid there. All right, here we go. Pace car going to make the left turn for the final time here tonight. And here we go up front. Christopher McCullough looking to see if he could pull off a PGR win after getting, unfortunately, let down last week with the race being called off. But here tonight, could get redemption, and there we go. They're all going to wreck out back. All wrecking on the restart out back. Let's see if we keep it green. Oh, my goodness. It's all of it. This is brutal. Oh, my goodness. That's probably about half the field on back that just got collected in that. Doesn't matter, though. Looks like we're keeping it green. And actually, well, this is being shown as the final lap. There we go, back to 2 to go. So make it to the white flag for this thing to be official. But as for now, race control letting this thing run. The 51 of Malik Ray leading the outside. Look at this. Tyler Vickery and Christopher McCullough, 2 of the underdog picks here tonight, going against one Coke Series driver. Who is going to win it? You got veteran versus veteran, and then one of the newcomers still in Tyler Vickery, looking to see if he can grab his first PGR win here tonight. Working through the trial. Well, guess who else has made their way to the party? Trevor Oswornoff. He knows how to win these kind of races. White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go at Talladega. In the middle, still leading, it's the 51. Malik Ray is going to try to hold them all off. He's going to have to make some blocks here, but right now all he can block is that outside line. That's where the run is the 24 Vickery with a big move. Oh, the 22 Christopher McCullough gets into Tyler. Now he gets into it again. Tyler's going to get into Trevor Oswornoff. They're going to wreck. Tyler Vickery goes around. Trevor Oswornoff is going to be able to hold on to it, but the battle now all up front. Christopher McCullough looks to the outside of Malik Ray. He's got this side draft. Cody Nagels is going to push. Cody is looking to see if he can get Chris clear. Is there another move to be made? Malik Ray, Cody Nagels, they're stuck side drafting each other. That's going to stall them out. Look at this. Redemption from last week. Christopher McCullough wins it at Talladega. And that is only poetic justice right there. Last week he won the race, but payouts were called off. Everybody was refunded. He was not happy about it. But he comes out here, he wins it this week when the payouts are on. Christopher McCullough gets his first official PGR win. Well, there was a tangle on that last lap. Christopher McCullough involved, and it did unfortunately take out two of the guys who had a really good chance at it here. Let's go break that down real quick as Chris brings it around here to celebrate. And I think there's a couple things here, and let's go all the way to the backstretch, which was when this kind of transpired here, if you will. Watch it from the chopper view. So coming off the corner here, Malik's leading. Christopher McCullough doesn't have any help, so he knows he's got a side draft here. And so he starts working up for a bit of a side draft. And he looks for one there, and I think he's... Well, there's Tyler Vickery. Tyler Vickery's got a great run. They're pushing. They're making a lot of progress, but then Chris starts coming back here. I'm trying to figure out, was there any net code? Nope. Doesn't look like it. I think Chris... Does he pinch him a little too tight here? I think he does. Watch the wheels. Yeah, Chris just starts to really run him out of room. I mean, look where the 22 is at this point. There's really not room for two cars there. Chris is above that second white line, and you know, it's obviously nothing intentional. He's just going for the win here. He's not trying to cause any issues. He's just trying to get a side draft, as much of one as he can. And from the cockpit view, it's kind of hard to tell. You know, he's just trying to get as close as he can without actually hitting him. But the problem is, he does hit him here, and when he hits him, that breaks him up, and then they kind of get stuck together. That puts Tyler Vickery here into Trevor Osmanoff, and now Tyler's just trying to find a way to save it here. And then as Trevor Osmanoff comes off the wall there, he ends up hooking the 24. And so that takes both of those two out of contention. Then Cody Nagels was the deciding factor here. It was who was he going to go with. Malik Ray tried to throw a block. Chris was having none of it. Malik faded back to the inside. And then right here, I thought Cody was going to have a shot at it, but him and Malik got to side drafting, and by doing so, stalled each other out. And that allowed Christopher McCullough to get all the advantage he needed to capture his first PGR win. All right, taking a look at your official results here for tonight. Christopher McCullough is your official winner here at Talladega. Malik Ray in second. Cody Nagels back in third with Kyler Wynn in fourth. Trevor Osmanoff sits back in the fifth spot. Christopher Carter finishes in sixth. Jeff Burke seventh. Jason Maines in eighth. Robert DeJersey in ninth. And Mike Davenport rounding out your top 10. Logan York 11th. Richard Elliott in 12th. Joshua McCullough back in 13th. Aubrey Thompson in 14th. Matthew Baker 15th. Jared Haynes 16th with Tyler Vickery in 17th. David Sheets back in 18th. And then moving on to that 19th spot. Rounding out your top 20 here tonight as well. That's going to be Andrew Navarro and William Schwindenhammer. Mark Vondell finishes 21st. I meant to say Andrew Navarro and William Schwindenhammer. Yep. So Mark Vondell finishes 21st. Devin Ray in 22nd. Jeremy Osborne 23rd. Joe Herda 24th. Jonathan Herbert in 25th. With Dylan Jones 26th. Talon Smith 27th. Ken McCullough Jr. 28th. Hunter Reynolds 29th. And then Jesse Calloway rounding out your top 30. Kenneth Stamper in 31st. Ron Morse Jr. 32nd. DeAndre Kane in 33rd with Steve Sizemore rounding out the field. He finishes in 34th. All right, we are going to go see if we can get your top three in here for interviews. Stick with us. We'll be right back at Talladega. All right, going to start first here tonight with your third place finisher, Cody Nagels. Cody, this is all stuff in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, what's up, Austin?
Well, man, overall, the race was pretty exciting there for a while. At the end, things started to get a little bit messy. Cautions breed cautions, but that final restart, pure chaos. Break it down from your point of view and how you made the decision with who you're going to go with there at the end.
Well, first I'm going to go back to the caution before that. I took quite a bit of damage. We only got one extra set of tires, which I took the set of tires with, I think it was like 10 to go or 8 to go or something. And then a couple wrecks happened, and I mean, that last one, I took heavy front end damage. And when we got on the restart, people are struggling, I think, with shifting, getting up through the gears in these 87s. and the seas kind of parted, and I'm like, all right, I was counting the cars. I'm like, all right, I'm pretty sure I'm good for a cash spot at least, because Merck had a lot of damage. And then it was down to Chris, Malik, and me, and Chris is a buddy of mine, and I'd like to help him when I can. Plus, I figure maybe if I go with Chris, it might cause Malik to come up the track, maybe side draft a little bit and give them a little bit of contact. And if it slows their momentum down, then it might open the door in the tri-oval for me to steal it. But the damage I had from the caution prior, it was like, I don't know, it's tough to explain. I really just couldn't get sucked up to anybody, so I felt like I was just kind of along for the ride. I don't think unless something happened, I don't think I had enough to win it on my own after the damage from the caution prior. If I could have, escaped out with little to no damage from the last caution, then I do think I would have had a good shot to win the race. But, I was kind of just racing for a podium spot there, and I'm just happy to come home with a P3.
A good finish indeed. So before we let you wrap up here tonight to head out, is there anyone you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, I don't even know if anyone was on my car, but I don't even know if Trading Paints was able to upload it. But Bank of Missouri, Friend Real Estate, Extra Life, Martin Sports. If you need any sim racing apparel or anything like that, get a hold of Scott Martin or go to martinsports906.com. I want to thank you for putting on the broadcast, Austin, Mike T and Baker for what they do with PGR. And if you don't know about the SummerSlam 499, big things are coming. Get signed up as soon as registration opens, and let's make this the biggest event in PGR history.
That's right. Well, thank you for talking to us here tonight, Cody. Again, congrats on that third place finish, and we'll see you next week.
Yep. Thanks, Austin.
All right, and now that'll bring us to your second place finisher, Malik Ray. Malik, this is also up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How you doing, man?
Good. Well, you bring home second there. Came up just short of the win, but, I guess the first question is, how do you kind of set yourself up in the sense of, that last restart, you first were thinking you were going to have to hold off a whole bunch of guys. Next thing you know, you've only got 3 left behind you. So kind of break down, what it is that's different in terms of what moves you have to make in these cars versus what we would normally see in the trucks.
Everybody just wrecked there on the start, and then after that, I just held the top. I tried to hold up there as much as possible because I had a lot of damage that I wasn't able to get fixed, and I just stayed up there. And then I think Tyler got hit down the back straightaway or something like that, and once he got hit, it was just, once Tyler got hit down the back straightaway, I tried staying up top, and then I went low. I gave up my outside, and then Cody pushed Christopher around my outside, and that was it. I just tried to make sure that, I didn't hit anyone after that, and I just took what was given, which was P2.
Absolutely, and still a good payout. And another question we got for you is kind of going back to the idea of, we have not seen this car in PGR before, and overall, early when we had a bit of green flag racing, we saw you making moves. You tore through the field a couple times. What did you have to do different when you're making moves in these cars to try to work through all that traffic?
You just got to burn your tires up, really. When I was going through people, I was just staying in it on entry. I was burning up my tires a lot because I was just trying to, get back to the front. And once I was able to get up there, it wasn't that bad. But you just got to take the runs that you have and try to be smart about them.
Absolutely. Well, hey, before we let you head out here tonight, celebrate your second place winnings, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out?
I appreciate you guys for broadcasting, and Michael for putting this on. I appreciate it.
We appreciate you for talking to us. Again, congrats on that second place finish, and hopefully we'll see you out here next week.
All right, thank you, man.
There you go, Malik Ray, second place finisher. Now, it brings us to your race winner. Well, I guess I should say two-time race winner. Last week didn't count. This time it's for real. Christopher McCullough. Chris, this is Austin in the booth. You got a copy?
Hell yeah, I got you.
Well, poetic justice, if I've ever seen it. You win last week. It's ruled off. The race didn't count due to issues. What did you think the chances were coming in tonight that you'd go back-to-back and get redemption by winning here tonight?
Well, I feel like if I can keep my car clean and have a clean car at the end, have a good shot. I really enjoy these 87s. I've run them a lot in the past, so I understood what it took and how to do the runs and whatnot. So I felt like I had a good shot. I had a little momentum from last week. It stung, but, give me a little extra drive to get her done.
Certainly did. And, I do got to ask, on that last lap, we saw some contact there between you and Vickery. Was it just trying to go for side drafting and getting stuck together?
Yeah, looking back at it, I mean, I didn't give them no room. They all hung me, and I had to get them on their door and had to stall them. And it looks like, we just came together a little bit. I know he was getting pushed, and he was a little sideways there as well. So, I mean, it kind of worked out. I think I gave him enough room once we got 3 there to capitalize on it and try to make a run, and then something happened with him in the 89. It's just hard racing there. I had no help on the bottom, and my only option was to get on their door and push them up and just hold them and hope to get momentum in there in 3, because I knew Malik would jump to the bottom because that's where the speed is. So I figured I can get his draft and maybe clear up. But it just worked out.
Yeah, it certainly did. And now that you got that first win out of the way, how you feel like the momentum's going to change? Is it time for the 94 to start winning quite a few races?
If I quit getting wrecked up here at the front, I think I'd have a lot more W's by now. I see to always put myself in position. Just got to make sure I capitalize on it and then try to keep the fenders on it.
Sure enough. I was going to say you didn't come across the line or in the grandstands here tonight. You came across the line as a winner. So congrats on it. Before we let you head out, though, is there anyone you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, I got to thank my team, McCullough Motorsports. As well as I do, we got a good group of guys over there. Got to thank them for keeping my head together. It's been kind of down on myself lately. But I also got to thank all these drivers here in PGR. These 87s were super fun tonight. Thanks, Michael and Baker, for putting this on and managing it. And thank you for broadcasting. I enjoy rewatching these races, and you do a great job.
Thank you, of course, for talking to us, Chris. Again, congrats on the win. Hopefully we'll see you out here next week.
10-4, that's the plan.
All right, Christopher McCullough, your race winner here tonight. That is going to do it for me here up in the booth. But, man, what a race it was. I got to be honest, I would like to see these cars back out here. First race, of course, you're going to have some things that have to be ironed out, especially restarts. That definitely seemed to be the main point of struggle here tonight. And at the end there, that was definitely brutal to see the last 2 or 3 cautions all lead to more big wrecks before we could even cross the line of just missed shifts. But nonetheless, that will wrap it up here tonight. So officially, thank you all so much for coming out. I hope you enjoyed as always. That'll do it for me, Austin Green, here on PGR Esports. We'll be back next week. Till then, have a good night.